Men, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Raw Politics. Today, I want us to look at the working relations between the president and the former prime minister. That is, between President Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The reason as to why I want us to look at this is because this particular working relation has brought a lot of confusion, and there is resentment coming up from within government and outside government. And so it is important we understand how did we find ourselves here and what it portends for the country. If that is a topic you are interested in, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. If you are watching us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss similar videos. And also, like always, I'll urge you to like the video and also drop a comment so that I may know your views on this particular subject. Otherwise, let us jump right into the topic of today. Like I said, there are many people who are confused what's going on and why. Because we had one of the most vicious campaigns in the history of this country leading to 2022. The president, President Ruto, then the deputy president, had made it clear that once he takes over, there will be no dialogue, there will be no blackmails, and there will be no nusumkate. So his supporters believed that moving forward, there is nothing that Raila was going to do that was going to make President Ruto go to the table, let alone work with him. But then we went to the polls, and it was the most competitive, in my opinion, of all the elections that we've ever had, because the winner got 50% and only managed to get 60,000 or thereabout, and only managed to win by 200,000. Now, I'm not saying that winning by 200,000 is not democratic. In a democracy, and especially in Kenya, you need 50% plus one, meaning even if you got 50% of the vote, you only need another one vote. So the president got more than that, 60,000 more than the 50% that was needed actually. But he defeated Raila Odinga by a margin of over 200,000 votes. So this was a closely contested election, and there were chances that Raila and his team were not going to agree that they lost the election. And as predicted, after the president was sworn in, following a Supreme Court process, what happened? What followed? Simple. Raila Odinga and his team went to the street. Now they had evidence that was proving that they had won the election. They wanted the servers opened. They wanted so many things handled. And the president, even though he had said he will not give in to any blackmails or any demands, was to make a very difficult decision here during the first mandamano. One, you let these people continue and destroy the economy that you are trying to revive. They have nothing to lose, okay? But you have a lot to prove. So, or you talk to them. And so, in the first instance, the president agreed that they can have a talk through parliament with the parliamentarians. They can raise their issues and have a talk. I think this did not work for Raila and his team. And after a while, maybe around July last 2023, they were back on the street. This time they were hiding behind things like cost of living, but within a short time it turned to the usual. He stole our election, he's a thief, he has to be removed. But everybody, from religious leaders to members of Kenya Kwanza, people were telling Raila that the best option, if you have an issue, especially issues to do with the cost of living and how the country should be managed, then you don't need to be on the street, because the streets, people are losing life, properties are being destroyed, and nothing is being achieved, and the economy is suffering in the process. So why can't you just come to the table? After a while, Raila decided to listen to voice of reason and went and sat down with with President Ruto. And ladies and gentlemen, this is very important, because this is where all the challenges we are facing today politically began. It began when President Ruto agreed that to solve the challenges that we are facing as a country, we have to listen to each other. Nobody has monopoly of ideas. If Azimio think that they can contribute something to make Kenya better, then why not listen to them? Okay, it is not a very popular route considering that we went through a very competitive election. So in a very competitive election, you have to prove to your opponents that you are the best. Now your opponents are saying that they can deliver. You don't need to give them room. But president leads people. The fate of 50 million Kenya is in his hand. And so he doesn't have the luxury of playing petty politics or trying to prove a point or massaging egos. No. The president has to make very hard decisions. And some of them are decisions that go against what he had even promised. For instance, sitting down with Raila is something he said he was not going to do. But now circumstances, the reality on the ground. I usually insist that there's a difference between what is ideal and what is real. And the reality on the ground, ladies and gentlemen, was very simple. The options were very simple, ladies and gentlemen. One, we allow the demos to go on. Remember, if the demos are going on, Nairobi doesn't function. The trade between Kenya and Tanzania is hindered. The trade between Kenya and Uganda is hindered through the demos in Kisumu. And so overall, we were losing. And at the same time, remember, the people who are wasting your time on the street and ensuring you can't deliver are the same who will come and say, we told you Ruto cannot deliver. So you see the challenge there. So the president had to make a very hard decision. It was not popular, but it was a hard decision that he made. And this particular decision that the president made was that I am going to listen to whatever it is that Raila is saying. Let us come to a compromise. There are people who just looked at what the president did and they said, this guy has betrayed us and we need to find a way of punishing him. So resentment started building then. Even when we had national dialogue at Bomas, which was co-chaired by Kimani Ichung'wah and Kalonzo, it was very obvious that there were people, high-ranking officials in this government, that were against anything that involved engaging Raila as somebody you are supposed to listen to. Okay? So we found ourselves in that situation. Resentment building within government. People within government saying President Ruto has betrayed them by giving Raila a listening ear, by compromising and allowing us to have talks. But like I said, the president has no luxury. He doesn't have the luxury of proving points or showing how tough he is, etc. He has 50 million Kenyans who depend, whose fate lies in the decisions he's going to make. And so he cannot make selfish decisions. On the opposition side, like I said, there were people who were like, we had cornered Ruto in this, our second maandamano. And why is Raila betraying us and joining him and having this particular dialogue? What type of person is this? So the resentment grew. These people, ladies and gentlemen, I thought they had given up, but they did not. They waited until there was an opportunity. And that opportunity came in the form of the finance bill. So first of all, within a short time, the machineries was activated to decampaign the finance bill even before it was voted for. It was decampaigned in manners you've never seen. People claimed very funny things in that finance bill. Okay? And they said it was about taxing dogs, taxing hens, going after your avocado. It was a funny thing. And they used the media to actually stoke resentment, to make the public hate this particular bill. And now, hiding behind the so-called Gen Zs, the Vijana, we saw people burning parliament. We saw people vandalizing the judiciary. We saw people burning City Hall. Nairobi was looted almost dry. You saw what happened in Embu and Eldoret, attacking government facilities and installation. MPs who were being taught, who were seen as not friendly, had to suffer. Their properties were looted and businesses destroyed. And so, and this was done by the people, within government and outside government. Just the people who were not happy with the fact that the president was willing to accommodate views of Raila, and those who were not happy that Raila was willing to swallow his pride and agree that President Ruto won and let us work and serve this country. So we have those extremists. They decided that this was an opportunity to bring Ruto down. And by the way, the president initially thought that perhaps it was just resentment against the finance bill. He later realized, because he kept on giving in, but then later realized that, oh, this was just politics, because those people insisted categorically that all they wanted was Ruto to vacate office, atoke akwende, very openly, saying that there is nothing you're going to do that we are going to accept unless you resign and leave office. These people were like, we wanted anarchy. You go. What they didn't want was Ruto. Anybody else should just take over, but not Ruto being there. And so they expected Raila Odinga to join this. That is where the problem began. They expected Raila Odinga to join them in anarchy to remove Ruto. That never happened. Raila asked himself a simple question. When I went to the street and tried to use violence to get rid of Ruto and achieve political ends, people lost lives, property was destroyed, and nothing happened. We didn't achieve much. Why can't we this time, if we have issues, instead of this anarchy that I'm seeing, why can't we just go again through the dialogue route? And that is what happened. Raila said, I choose peace this time round. And it didn't really please so many people. And that is where the resentment I talked about is coming. So there are people who are now very bitter with Raila today, even wishing him that he loses the EU seat. They are wishing him every bad thing because they feel like he should have joined them in getting rid of Ruto, but he failed. So according to them, he's the one that gave Ruto legitimacy. There are also people within government who are feeling like bringing in Raila Odinga and even bringing in his team into cabinet is a betrayal, considering that we should have finished Raila and his team instead of allowing them to reinvent themselves. So you have those extremists, both within government and outside government, who are not very happy with what is going on. But I've explained to you how we found ourselves here. We found ourselves here because the people that the president trusted to stand by him had colluded with people outside government to try and get rid of him, unconstitutionally, by the way. And so you had to do what you have to do to stabilize government, because there's a lot that the president needs to deliver, and he cannot deliver that in a chaotic environment. So to stabilize government, when Raila was offering that he would go the dialogue route, the president embraced that and said, okay, this is what we want for our country, because majority of Kenyans just want to wake up in the morning, go fend for themselves, and go back home, okay? And anarchy will not allow that. And so the president saw this opportunity of working with Raila, and he embraced it. It is something that those who look at politics from a realistic perspective would actually applaud, because it has given us the peace we needed to transact and do other things, as things are being fixed actually, as opposed to what was being proposed by the so-called Gen Zs and their finances. I hope I explained what type of how we found ourselves in this situation. Now let us look at this issue of, does it have something to do with 2027? In my opinion, I don't think the president, and having known President Ruto for some time, and having observed how he does his politics, I don't think this has anything to do with 2027. Because, you see, if 2027 is the goal here, then you must make sure that you must be 100% sure that the Luo voting bloc is going to give you those votes come 2027. And that is purely dependent on Raila. And what if Raila says tomorrow that he is no longer comfortable with supporting Ruto? What do you do? So I don't think the president is going to look at it from do we have a deal for 2027, or even supporting Raila for AU. I don't think it has anything to do with a deal for 2027. I don't think it has anything to do with 2027. And I have my reasons, having studied how President Ruto does his politics. He never looks at politics from that black and white thing of let me bring in Raila and I have the Luo vote. No, it doesn't work like that. The Luo vote will depend entirely on if the president delivers. And what the president needs is an environment where he can deliver. And with Raila on his side, he has that piece that he needs to deliver. And so far, he has also gone out of his way. Even those in government who are not happy with bringing in Raila, who even tried to overthrow him using some youth here and there, the president has extended an olive branch. It's not as if he has gone armor and tongs against them, destroying them. No, no, no. It's like explaining to them that we needed to do this. This was the only option we had, and it is not bad for the country. It is not bad if you decided to bring in people who believe also they have ideas they can help. If Mbadi believes he has a better way of reviving our economy, why not give him a chance? If Joe can do something about our mining and the blue economy, why not give him a chance? He's a fellow Kenyans. He is a fellow Kenyan, and Kenyans have the right to serve in this government, irrespective of which political party they come from. Take, for instance, teachers are paid by government. They are employees of the government, and majority, and those teachers don't belong to a single party. They are from all walks of life, different party affiliations, etc. So you can't refuse to give them a chance to serve if they are saying they have ideas on something they can do. So I just prefer peace as opposed to chaos. That is my goal always. I always tell people that even when the ODM people were on the street and causing chaos, you can check. I insisted that we have other ways of solving issues. If we have differences, let us always embrace peace. This issue of insisting that the only way you can handle things is maybe through violence, that let us ban our country, we will rebuild it later. Which country has been burnt and rebuilt later? Which one? None. So I think Raila did a good thing here, and the president was magnanimous and accepted to be the bigger brother, and now they are working together for the sake of the country. Found whatever I said here useful. Drop a like and let me know in the comments. If you have a different version, please also just share in the comment. I always listen to different ideas because that is how we learn. Our country, we talk. We need to talk. Whether we differ in ideas, let us talk. Also, don't forget to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Otherwise, let us meet in the next video.